Well, it's the final day of our exclusive live series, New China, and this special series celebrates the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. Today, our three teams are reporters in three mobile studios who will conclude their travels by exploring China's innovation progress in terms of the technology sector. And our colleagues on the southwest route will visit China's Optics Valley in Wuhan, the provincial capital of Hubei Province, and introduce the most complicated underground hub for us. And in the northeast, my colleagues there will also look at the city of Dalian in Liaoning Province. Meanwhile, on the southeast route, my colleagues are now in Shanghai. They'll show us the city's advantages of developing with innovations. As you can see, our three teams are all standing by right now. Good to see you, folks. Let's first cross to Zhao Yunfei and Sean Calebs. Good to see you guys. Take it away.
Thanks very much. 12 days, let's keep it going. Let's go further. Let's see more of China. This has really been amazing. I got to say, mixed emotions is coming to an end. It has been an amazing experience, and I hope those of you who have followed this have really enjoyed it as much as we have. We have driven 4,500 kilometers. Put that in perspective, if you're from an international standpoint, in the U.S., that's like driving from Washington, D.C. all the way to San Francisco and then some. But it has been an amazing trip, especially for us here in the Southwest. We've seen this wonderful landscape, we've met some wonderful people, and really see how China is poised to move to be such a leader in this century.
And of course, in our case, it's from Zunyi all the way here to Wuhan. I should say congratulations to you and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, they did an amazing job, and thanks to you as well. You put everything together the last couple of days here in central China.
Well, before you thank me, I should finish my last mission, which is to bring you right here in Wuhan. The architecture we are in is called Star River, which is part of the Optics Valley. The Optics Valley is considered as part of the innovation hub, and it's home to many high-tech companies as well as elites.
Right.
And this is the place where it's kind of very fascinating, and it's kind of a leader of Chinese technology expansion.
Yeah, and also we've talked so much about the quality of life. People who work here, that's really what they embrace. We got to tell you where we are now. It looks like it may be just a nice grassy park with some modern art in the background, but no, this is actually Optics Valley Square, and it is the largest of its kind in Asia because underneath, where you can't see right now, there are 3 subway tunnels, there are 2 utility tunnels, and that means about 400,000 people transfer or move through this area every day. Just amazing.
And it just got finished last week. Very amazing. Optics Valley is similar to the Silicon Valley in the United States. It's a hub of China's fiber optics industry. The technology, in fact, behind how you watch or broadcast live is through optical fibers and cables. As the valley turns itself to an integrated high-tech base, its development reflects how China has upped its status in science.
Central China's Wuhan is the birthplace of the nation's first optical fiber. It is also the world's largest supplier of optical preform. The Yangtze optical fiber and cable has the world's fastest fiber drawing technique, 3,500 meters per minute, thanks to its self-developed intelligent manufacturing program. Global demand for optical fibers and cables is increasing as cloud computing and big data applications continue emerging in the 5G era.
4G, 3G, that's China still that we are always following. That's the US and other advanced technology countries. And now that starts from 5G that we start to be the leader. Not only leader for the standard, but also the leader of every applications.
Zhuang says the strategy of being a global industry leader is to serve as a solution provider. Optics Valley has provided an atmosphere of creation.
This is the valley of innovation. Optical Valley can guarantee you enough support.
High-quality talent resources and favorable government investment policies are the major sources of the valley.
It all began from a humble photoelectronic base. Now, the Optics Valley has turned to a micro-city. With the area's industrial upgrades and infrastructure development, more and more elites from home and abroad are attracted to this scientific incubator. It has also become a driving force for the country's high-tech industry.
With a batch of urban function projects covering hospitals, exhibition halls, and stadiums, a new technology city has formed in Wuhan. Innovation is in China's genes when it comes to scientific development. The nation's first atomic bomb was developed in the 1960s. Back then, high-end technology was just applied to some key projects such as national defense systems.
科学的春天到来了。
China's reform and opening up called for universalization of science in all fields, with then Vice Premier Deng Xiaoping stressing that science and technology are productive forces.
与生产的关系越来越密切了。
Deng called for the modernization of science and technology.
改革开放初期那个时候，人们对这个科技这样的一个概念。
When the nation just started reforming and opening up, only a small group of people saw the importance of science. But now we not only focus on the scale of scientific production, but also focus on its core competitiveness. China is keeping its technical advantage globally with an innovative approach.
Now, China has set its standards as high as outer space and as low as the bottom of the oceans. Whether it's searching for the answer to the universe's origin or hunting for the smallest particle, Chinese scientists are reaching far beyond the horizon. Progress can be seen in various fields, including quantum communication, radio signal detection, neutrino research, and artificial intelligence. Innovations and creations have reached ordinary lives, respecting market trends. Zhao Yunfei, CGTN.
Yeah, it's really amazing how far the new China has come in 70 years, a world leader in so many different aspects.
Absolutely.
And now joining us to talk more about this is Mr. He Jinming. He is Vice President of Fiber Home. It is based right here in Optics Valley. Mr. He, thank you very much. Welcome to the program. We appreciate you joining us.
Okay.
I want to ask you about what you're holding. If you can hold that up a little bit higher, tell us what it is, and tell us how all the growth here in the Optics Valley has contributed to China's development.
OK 啊，这个是我们
This
这
is
个最新研发的一
a
个光背板，
optical
这你
backplate
看
developed
它
by
是很
ourselves.
是吧？很轻。
This is really
而且可以
lightweight
可以弯曲。
and
那么
flexible.
它的特点呢，就是说
The
这个
key
容量非常
feature is its huge
那么它能
capacity,
达到
up to
1280
1280 Tbits.
它的容量呢是我们的普通
So
的
talk
电
about
的
its
对板的
capacity
20倍以
is
上。
20 folds
目前来
bigger
讲
than
已
a
经在我们的光
electronical
通讯设备里面已经
backplate. So it's
得到了
now
广泛的应
widely
用。
used in the
能够
optical
提升我们的
communication
设备容
industry,
量啊，
which
提升
enhance
功
the
能啊，
competitiveness and the function of the
Absolutely.
products.
This is an instrument to help us how to achieve the 5G era. Now we talk a lot about 5G. Can you tell us more about, can you imagine what will it be like in the future, in the 5G era?
OK，因为5G 来讲，大家都是
Talking about
很关心啊
5G,
也
it
是热
draws
点
everyone's
我想呢，这
attention.
5G 作为一个通信的一个基
So
础设
as
施，
a
那么它除了技术
foundations of the future communication, it will for sure enable people-to-people communication, improve our experience,
万物互联。
but in the end, it will link
各行
everything.
各业利用5G 呢，
We should more look at its application to different industries, how every industry utilize 5G, how to change their business models, and also innovation side.
Thank you so much, Mr. He. Thank you for your insights.
Okay,
Now, the Optics Valley has vigorously promoted the integration of industry, portraying an international science and technological advanced new city. Besides optical fiber communication, Optics Valley also stands as the forefront of other industries such as biomedicine, eco-friendly energy, and high-end equipment manufacturing. Established in 1988, Optics Valley is home to 42 universities, 56 national and provincial research institutions, and 65 academicians, and 518 square kilometer development zone now boasts a population of 1.79 million, with 70% of residents under the age of 35, very young group of people. Like many other innovation bases around the world, Industry Academy Cooperation is Optic Valley's innovation backbone. The city of Wuhan has a total of 83 universities, ranking second in the nation behind Beijing in higher education institutions.
It's just amazing. You can see how China is poised to move forward. Okay, next we're going to talk about how some international residents contributed to the city of Wuhan. But first, let's check in with our colleagues from the Southeast. They are in one of my favorite cities in the world at the Financial Center in Shanghai. Chengxi and Lindy, tell us what's up today.
Thank you so much, Sean and Yunfei. Well, of course, we can say that our 12 days is ending literally and figuratively on a high. We're coming to you right now from the second tallest building in the world, It's the Shanghai Tower, and it stands at over 600 meters with 128 floors. It really gives you a panoramic view of the city, of the Huangpu River, the famous Bund, and several skyscrapers that make up this iconic Shanghai skyline. Now, Shanghai is the most developed city in China, and many say this ever-changing landscape represents the future-facing character of the city and its citizens.
That's right, Lindy. If there is one city in China that is embracing the future, it is certainly Shanghai. The city is considered a leading tech innovator. Now, one key example is that Shanghai is the first city in China to have 5G coverage in most of its urban areas.
Well, 5G is certainly here. This remarkable technology has so many fascinating implications for so many industries around the world. For example, 5G is expected to dramatically change the way medicine works. It will allow doctors to perform remotely controlled surgeries while sitting across the world from their patients with minimal delay or latency, as it's known.
Yes, Lindy, do you know what I'm holding?
I do not. Please kindly do share.
This is the latest flagship smartphone from Huawei. It is called the Mate 30 Pro. Wow. It was just launched in Munich, Germany yesterday.
That's incredible. So this is a brand new phone.
Yes, this is a brand new phone. So why am I mentioning the model?
Yes,
now this is what Huawei calls a second generation 5G smartphone.
Okay.
And since this Shanghai tower is covered by a 5G signal provided by China Unicom, we can actually test how fast 5G works. Now if we just unlock the phone, and this is a speed testing app, and press start here. Whoa, can you see the speed going over 1,000 gigabits per second? Now the chart tops at 300.
Oh my
If you were using 4G, it would be somewhere around here.
This is
and the upload is pretty fast too.
So this is telling us, I mean, just you're saying if it was 4G, it would be somewhere
around 5, I would say.
That is incredible.
Just think about the potential of the fast internet, right? In consumer electronics, in industry, right? The potential is limitless.
It really is. Well, on that note, let's introduce our guests for more. We're joined by Andy Mock, the Senior Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization, and we're also with Tim Clancy, who's the Hangzhou Culture and Tourism Promotion Ambassador. Tim, I want to start with you. Hangzhou is an incredible city. It's my first time here, but tell us, what do you think makes Shanghai the perfect playground for 5G technology?
Well, Lindy, 5G technology coming out, I'm sure this will definitely revolutionize the way that we use technology, interact with technology, and how it shapes our lives. So you can imagine when 2G came out, we had voice. When 3G came out, we had internet. When 4G came out, we can use things like Douyin, WeChat, TikTok, that's Douyin, and it has changed our life so much, and so many new things have stemmed from this technology. Now, I think Shanghai being a representation of everything that's modern about China, and given that the population of Shanghai could fit roughly is about the same as Australia, I think releasing a technology such as 5G here is the perfect playground for all the people here to experiment with it and be innovative, creative, and come up with new value-adding ways. Not to mention that it will severely improve everything about industry, and it will increase data flow. And with all this data and collection of data, that can be used by big data theories to improve the way we actually live as well. So I'm very much looking forward to this, what could be dubbed as a revolutionary change.
Yeah, it absolutely is revolutionary.
Yes. Now, Andy, from a consumer device perspective, right? Now, this phone is 5G ready, while the new iPhone is not. So obviously, people have very different expectations as to how fast or how soon 5G can be popularized. So what do you think are some of the technical or business or even policy challenges that 5G faces right now?
Well, 5G, of course, is more than just the smartphone, but it's all of the equipment that consumers don't see. So that is being built out very rapidly. Shanghai, of course, is one of the showcases for this. But when we look at it on the smartphone side, every new generation, 2G, 3G, 4G, has a leader. And the iPhone, in particular, is led in the 4G world. And this is, I think, the 5G is the moment for Chinese manufacturers, especially Huawei. And I think why is that
One reason is that Huawei laid the groundwork for this many, many years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Because the way these technologies are first developed, you have to first have the standards. And without going into all of the details, it's a long, complex process. And Huawei in China has been investing, laying the groundwork for this. So I think that's one reason. Also, Apple tends to be a little bit slower in innovating, and I think we're especially seeing this today. The Chinese smartphones, the pace of innovation is the fastest in the world.
Thank you very much for your analysis. Well, later today in our final installment of the New China Tour program, we'll be bringing live reports to you at another iconic location in Shanghai. I will not tell you where it is now,
It's a surprise.
but you have to
Secret
stay
for later.
tuned. Now it's now back to you in the Southwest.
Well, given the fact that New China has the tradition of bringing each other gifts, Lindy and Chengxi, anticipation is not high. We don't need the second generation of 5G phone. The first generation is fine.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Now let's check in with our colleagues from Northeast Route. Let's go live to our mobile studio in Dalian, Xinchen and Jonathan.
Alrighty, it's Yunfei and Sean Caleb. So we're in the city of Dalian in northeast China's Liaoning province. The city sits on the southern tip of the Liaoning Peninsula. So port, I think it has a really big port here in Dalian, so trade is very important in the city.
It's a big port city. We're on a pretty big highway headed to a major infrastructure project to better connect Dalian and better connect Dalian to the rest of the country here. We're approaching the Xinhai Bay Bridge, which is a cross-sea bridge just off the coast of Dalian.
And allegedly it is the first such bridge here in China.
Yes, it's a huge undertaking. It just opened in 2015 after a 4-year construction project. I think we're going under a tunnel now and approaching it, so we'll be showing that to you. In fact, as we pull up now to see what it looks like, there it is. This is actually, by the way, a pretty big attraction here in China. A lot of people come here just to look at the bridge. It's a stunning view, I gotta say. Nice as the sun is setting here on the coastal city of Dalian. So let's turn over to our guest here, Professor Benjamin Xiao with the Paris School of Business, and talk about this infrastructure project and really the future of Dalian here. You know, growth has been slowing. There has been a slump in the economy, a slump in trade. As Dalian focuses on the future and tries to diversify and sustain its growth, what can it do to really make sure it is well positioned for modern China?
Thanks for the great question. I think the second production in Dalian is about 42% of the economy. Tertiary production, which is service, is about 52%. Example of secondary production, which is manufacturing, is, for example, oil production, oil refining. The Dongbei area, northeastern region in China, is responsible for 50% of the oil production in China in the past few decades. And one of which is from the Panjin oil field, which is the nearby city of Dalian. So a lot of refinery is actually done in here. But oil is depletable. So we need to find new growth points, which I think tourism and civilian use of military technologies are very reasonable high growth points. Take tourism as an example. You know, the nearby city we have Red Beach, right? And Dalian features the only west coast for a major city in China, similar to California. So we have very good weather in here, also great seafood. But because of the slowdown of the Dongbei area economy, so tourists are not growing as much as we wanted. So maybe the promotion needs to grow to a bigger geographic area.
Well, that is the concern. I mean, tourism, I know a lot of cities try to lean on tourism to try to boost the finances, but that's a fickle industry. And China is definitely focused on trying to spur more high-tech, innovative industry. So how do you think that fits in with Dalian?
Thank you. So Dalian has been able to build the first aircraft carrier and also the largest single aperture telescope and also the strongest ultraviolet light beam. These are all very big, gigantic, but I don't know how much commercial value it can derive. But all I know is that there must be thousands and thousands of smaller innovations inside it. So if we have some way to commercialize some of this kind of innovation, and in general, commercialization of some invention from the state-owned enterprise, that might mean instant explosion of GDP.
And actually, I believe the city government is also trying to attract more younger, talented people and come back to the city to do startups and to do innovation and entrepreneurship. So yeah, it's totally right.
Well, certainly a strategic location as well, which helps us as well. Earlier we were at the Port of Dalian here, and they were talking about the focus for them is to make the port more of a regional hub to better connect Dalian, Northeast China with Northeast Asia and also Europe. The port is key in that. This highway, this bridge, I'm sure is a factor in all that to make it easier to move goods around Dalian and move goods around China.
And I think we're now throwing back to
Jiao Yunfei and Sean Caleb's in southwestern China. So what do you guys have there? Back to you.
Thanks very much, guys. It is amazing how many times we've heard it was just built, it's under construction, it's the newest development. China is really moving forward.
Innovation hub, innovation industry, innovation.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jonathan and Sinchen. And we're bringing you live reports from here in the Optics Valley from central China's Wuhan. The city is proud of its diversity. Wuhan has developed strong ties with France over the years. In fact, go there and you may meet some of the more than 600 French citizens who now call Wuhan home. The city is home also to about branches of more than 100 French companies, many of whom have invested heavily in Wuhan. CGTN's reporter Xia Rusha has visited 3 French expats who've been living there for a few years and tells us their stories in this report.
I'm Aurélien Gauguet. I'm French. I live in China for almost 4.5 years now. And I work in Valeo, automotive company, French automotive company in Wuhan. And I love China. I'm very happy to be here. I try to learn Chinese so I can speak with many of my colleagues, friends, customers, suppliers, so I don't feel alone, even with Chinese people, because I love living here. I enjoy my spare time by doing a lot of sport. I like to be in the forest, so I run. And I like also to do bicycle. So in China there is more and more, and in Wuhan especially, some big greenway around the lakes. You know, Wuhan is the city of lakes, so I enjoy a lot to do sport. I can see in Wuhan, like Wuhan Meitian Buyang, Wuhan every day is different. I can see big progress in the city organization, especially with the military games. Wuhan's government is putting a lot of energy to make the things well organized, very clean, and it's very quick changing. And I want to stay here. And I want to stay here with the people I like, with my girlfriend that I want to marry, so I want to stay in China.
I think Wuhan is good for me because I'm the only one for any hairdresser, and I'm proud about it. Every day a new challenge for me, because to work with customers for other countries, I like Wuhan. People are very kind, yes, and they like, I think they like foreigner people. They like to share something and to try to talk, especially children, yes. With WeChat and Alipay, it's very, very, very convenient. By example, in France, you don't have anything. You pay by car or cash, but you don't have something with your phone to pay or collect some money. Yeah.
My name is François, I am French, and I'm working for Renault company, which is a French company. I am here now in Wuhan from 6 years. What I enjoy here is a team spirit, because in China, people used not to work only for them, but for the group. They are working together with only one objective, to make success of our project. Okay, so it's very good, very important strengths we have here. We are living close to other French families, so we don't feel at all isolated. Every weekend we used together, For example, yesterday, because one of our friends was leaving to go back to France, so it was the opportunity to meet together, to give them some presents, okay, and to have a good time together. Yeah. So yes, we used to meet very often with our friends.
And for more on foreign experts' experience in China, we are joined by Professor Liu Baocheng from the University of International Business and Economics, and Alberto Lebron. He's a PhD researcher of international political economy at Peking University. Last day, welcome guys.
They've been troopers too. They have been troopers.
So, Albert, so you have been working in China for years. What is your experience like in China as a foreign expert?
Well, Yunfei, besides my job in the university, I'm serving a term in Spanish Chamber of Commerce as local chairman in Beijing. So I am relatively close to day-to-day business life here in China. For Spanish enterprises, we have a sweet and sour story. There are lots of ups, but some downs as well. So doing business in China is not an easy task. As everybody knows, it is not a secret, but let me tell you something. Only those companies investing in own business intelligence information on the field are the ones meant to success.
Right.
You know, some companies come here without any preparation, then they fail. We've been this morning to Optical Valley, which is one of the major technological hubs in China, Wuhan, Hubei Province, and I have realized that neither Spanish institutions nor Spanish companies are operating there yet. So if we are capable to transmit effectively this information to our governments, our institutions, our enterprises, then asymmetries in information can be offset, because here in China there are lots of asymmetries in information, language and culture are totally different, so we need as foreigners to inform our countries about opportunities here. So business intelligence information collection is key for all foreign companies considering of doing business here in China.
Professor Liu, we've heard the international take on all of this. Obviously, diversity is going to be important to any major city. But what's the struggle with the balancing act here in China? Because China wants to embrace international experience and have people like our good friend Alberto Lebron enjoy and learn here. But you can't lose your own culture, wouldn't you say?
Yes. The globalization entails the meeting of people from different cultures. They bring not only expertise and technology, and they also bring new ideas, which may conflict at the very beginning with the original ideas that is really indigenously produced here. But this is the way to grow towards the globalization process. And for China, actually, we have a very long coherent history, and therefore there has been a time of xenophobia, there has been time of submission due to colonization. But right now, China is the great beneficiary of globalization, and so the key word is inclusiveness. That for China to really to open its arm and open its mind to receive foreign people like you, and foreign businesses and foreign students, etc. And in the meantime, China is also very resolved to explore the global opportunities. So therefore, we still need a acculturation process for all Chinese people. So it's a mutual learning process, so that both can really get more integrated and more adaptive, not only to culture and expertise, and also the confidence that build with each other. So for you guys, it's not only how to speak ni hao, xie xie, or those simple Chinese, or using chopsticks, but also how to deeply involve in the culture, which is really the bedrock of integration with Chinese the society.
Well, I hope I can come back and learn from my friend Yunfei. I've had a great time here, and I hope this isn't my last experience in China.
Of course, you're always welcome to be back, and you guys are always welcome to be with us on the road. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now that will do it for this edition of our special reports.
Yeah, but stay with us, everybody. Coming up next on New China, we will discuss the future of China. That's at 12:15 GMT. boy, it's hard to believe that our new China experience is winding down 4,500 kilometers. I still say, let's go backward now and go and see how that does.
No, so far, back to Guanxin.
Okay.
Well, thank you both for the very outstanding report. Zhao Yunfei and Sean Caleb's in Wuhan, and my colleagues on other routes around China. Well, today is the last day of our special coverage of New China 70 years on. 12 days of wonderful journey illustrates how China has transformed and innovated in different sectors and in different locations. And the final edition will be on China 24 at 8 p.m. tonight, Beijing time. Stay tuned, and we'll be back after this.
Those spinning generators are driven by water passing through the dam. All 32 machines together in 1 year produce enough electricity to power 42 million homes.
So Jonathan and I have arrived in Panjin, a coastal city right here in northeastern China along the Bohai Bay area.
These are freshly boiled or steamed crabs just delivered to us right here on this rice fields, and we're going to open them up.
It's really fresh.
I really understand why they say that Suzhou is the Venice of the Orient.
And now let's take a look at how Asian markets ended the trading